Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Nerd Shelves. My name's Michael.
I'm Judy.
And we have another 3 Things We Love video. Today we are going to talk about
Orbis.
Orbis. It's a 2 to 4 player game, plays in about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun.
I like it.
Yeah, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So Judy and I have our top 3 things that we love about Orbis.
Let's check it out.
Okay, so 3 things we love about Orbis. Do you want to start?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with number 3.
Number 3. So when you play, there are 9 region tiles on the table.
Yeah.
And you pick one of them. While you pick that, you need to get the worshiper, which are those cubes.
Yep, the
With
colored
5
cubes.
colors, I think.
Yep.
It need to be the same color as the tile you pick. And then after you pick it, you put it at each adjacent tiles.
Oh, yeah.
Not orthogonally.
Yes, orthogonally.
Orthogonally, but not diagonally.
Right.
That's kind of special, right? Because
Yeah.
usually they put around or it only one, but this one is very specific.
Yeah, I've never actually played a game that had that mechanic, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I like it.
Yeah. So if there's 9 tiles, and if I want the middle tile, for example, and it's a green tile, then I have to take green cubes and place them on all of the tiles that are touching it.
And if it's at the bottom corner, you only need to put the one on top and the left side.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the worshipers just add up on each tile, and then
Yeah.
if you end up taking a tile, you get all the worshipers that are on that tile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah, the worshipers. That's
Is that
very
on
good one.
yours?
It might be on my list somewhere.
What's your third one?
My number 3 is the game has these they're called cancellation tokens.
Yep.
Now, these are pretty neat, and why I like it is so when you have tiles that you choose and you put them on the board, you get victory points based on different situations.
Yeah.
To make sure you get the victory points, you have to what's called validate the card or validate the tile. And to validate it, you have to make sure that it meets the right criteria to get the victory points. And if it's not validated, you can still place the tile, but you put a little token
Yeah.
over the victory points.
Yeah.
And they're called cancellation tokens. So now that is worth no victory points.
Yeah. It's like you didn't complete the task.
Right.
So
Exactly.
you gotta block it.
And then you block it. And I think that's really cool. So when at the end of the game, when you're counting your victory points, if they have a cancellation token on it, you don't get those points.
Yeah, that's really cool. You don't see that in other games
Yeah.
often. And
Yeah.
this one, yeah, they're very thoroughly planned this game.
That's
eh?
right. It's very planned out. It's planned out very well.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like, a lot of games, if you can't place the tile, if you can't meet that criteria, you just can't place the tile.
Yeah.
Where this game, you can still place the tile, but you don't get the victory points.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, still can play. Just
Yeah.
don't get a score.
Exactly. Yeah, so that was my number 3.
All right.
All right, number 2.
Oh my, are they gonna be the same?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, my number 2. Ready?
Yep.
So when you there's some cards that say you have to sacrifice the worshippers while if you want to complete the task, you have to sacrifice the worshipper. I like how they ask you to get it from the other 8 region tiles instead of your own supply, because if there are not enough available, you cannot do it.
Right.
And that part is kind of hard. Make it more difficult, right?
Absolutely.
You have to change your strategy if you don't have enough,
Yeah.
which happened to you once.
More than once. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
No, it's really cool. So actually that is on my list.
Oh, really?
That is actually my number 1. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about that more. So we're going to talk
Later.
about that more on my list. And there's
Okay.
a reason why it's my number 1.
Okay.
And but I'll explain it later.
Okay.
Okay?
What's your second one?
So my second one is so like you mentioned, the region tiles, they're either farms or forests, water tiles,
Yeah, waterfall.
volcanoes, right? They're all different regions and they're all different colors. Now, when you're placing the region tiles in your universe, you're building like a pyramid. And to put, let's say I want to put a blue water tile, one of the tiles under it also has to be a water tile. So why I think, I mean, some games have had that mechanic in it before, but what I love about it in this game is that, let's say on the bottom I have a forest tile and a water tile. So the next tile that goes on it has to either be a water tile or a forest tile.
Forest, yeah.
But if I put a water tile on it, that means I've covered up the forest tile. So that means I'm basically giving up forest for the rest of the game because going up the pyramid, there's no more forest.
Yeah.
So it's not just about meeting the requirement of putting it on top. You have to decide which region you want to continue up the pyramid. And each region, they have different kinds of actions, right? Like all the water ones give you points for irrigation. All the forest ones give you points for surrounding the tile. All the volcanoes give you points by sacrificing. They all do different things. So I didn't realize how puzzly this was going to be, how much I had to think, if I want to put a water one, I'm giving up forest for the rest of the game.
That's tricky, right?
It's very tricky.
Yeah.
And I thought that, I didn't even realize that that was going to come into play until we started playing it.
I know. I like how they give you a wild card though. Basically, you flip it over, it will be a wild card, but you lose points.
Right, yeah, exactly. That is the way around it, and I love it when games do that, is you're giving something up, but you can fix it by, like you said, you can take one of the regions and just flip it upside down, or flip it over, and it's wilderness, it's called.
Yeah.
It's called wilderness, and then it becomes wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that...
Still need to pay for it though.
Yes, you get -1 point at the end of the game, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, like I said, when I was learning the rules, I didn't necessarily think that that was going to come into play so much. I just thought, okay, it's a requirement to place the tile. It has to be touching a blue one. Easy. But I didn't realize you had to give up the other color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from 5 and then 4, 3, 2,
Right,
and then the god that you pick.
Yeah.
It's harder than it looks like.
Absolutely. It makes you think a lot more than what you would think it would.
Yeah. I like it. I like it.
So that was my number 2.
Yeah. Want to know my number 1?
I want to know your number 1.
You already said it. It's your number 2.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
I like that strategy. It's really cool. So you know that you have to build it in the pyramid and all the that we just talked about, right? You have to build it, and there are some rules that you cannot build a different color if you have the choice. Right?
Yeah.
But if you don't have choice, you have to flip the card.
You can flip it over,
and lose points.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I like that.
It is cool. And because it's a pyramid, obviously you're losing every time it goes up a level, you're losing the amount of spots that you can build on.
Yeah.
So at the bottom,
hard.
if you put one of each color, you have all these choices. But then as soon as you cover up one of the colors, you can't build that color anymore.
You sacrifice.
It's gone for the game.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Now, I understand why that's your number 1. I mean, that was almost my number 1 because that really is the essence of this game.
I think
That's
so too.
what makes this game shine.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my number 1, which you already said. But like I mentioned, the region tiles that we just talked about, and that was my number 2, but it was almost my number 1. But the reason why I picked my number 1, and you've already mentioned it, it was the worshippers, because for me, that's what brings the theme of the game. It brings that alive.
Yep.
So basically, and I think it's so funny if you really think about it, every time you want to build a volcano, you have to sacrifice your worshippers. So you're basically killing, exactly. You're throwing the worshippers into the fire.
Yeah.
Which makes me laugh. I mean, it's horrible, but it's such a cool thematic thing, right? So basically, to build the volcano, it'll pick a color of worshiper, maybe the forest worshiper or the water worshiper. And if it says 4 of them, on the board of worshipers that have already been placed, you have to sacrifice them. You have to kill them.
Yeah, it's brutal.
So you have to remove them from the board. And it's not a huge game break. I mean, it is. It made me think a lot about building the volcanoes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as big of a deal as the other mechanic of what we just talked about with the regions, but it was just something that brought the theme alive into the game.
Yeah.
And I love games where the theme matters.
Yeah.
Right? It's
So
not
true.
it's not just an abstract game that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
It has that theme, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
so that
this
was my
game.
number one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like this game. The first time I saw this game, the graphic is really cute. And the color is very straightforward, right? Their worshiper is very simple color, nothing that's too close and confusing. It's very clear. And then we play this game. The rule book is awesome.
This is one of the best rule books I've read.
So simple and
Clear,
straightforward.
simple, straightforward. The headings are clear. I mean, there aren't a lot of rules, but we had no questions.
They're simple, but they make you work hard on build your strategies.
Yes, exactly. The
Yeah.
strategy is not so simple.
Yeah.
I really like the artwork. Not only is it super clear, the iconography is really good, but the
Really
art
good.
itself is awesome.
Really good.
Yeah.
You see those, so there are three stages of tiles you place. There's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3.
Yeah.
And we notice that the property will be from simple, just a simple land. And then they upgrade a little bit.
Yeah.
And there are more animals on it,
Yeah.
more houses on it.
Yeah.
And the third one is the complete building.
Yeah,
or
so each level
realm.
of each level of region you buy, as they go up, the art shows that it's actually a better piece of land, and
Yeah.
they didn't have to do that.
No.
It was just
So cool.
very cool.
Yeah.
The god tiles didn't even make my list.
It is so cool.
The god tiles, there's always one more god tile to choose from than players. So with a 2-player game, there's 3 god tiles you can choose from. Instead of choosing one of the regions from the middle, you can decide to pick one of the god tiles, and it just sits off to the side. And then at the end of the game, it's the last tile you place on top of your pyramid, and then most of the time it has end game victory points.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty cool idea too. It's just such a well thought out, complete game.
I like it.
And it only takes about 45 minutes to play.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, because you don't want to sit there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Sorry for those 2 hours games.
Well, some
No
games
offense.
are okay, right, to play,
Yeah.
but this wouldn't be right if it lasted much longer. But
Yeah.
it just hits that sweet spot. It's perfect.
Yeah.
What a fun little game.
It's something for like Friday night, you're tired after
Yeah.
work, but you want to play a quick game
Exactly.
before bed or
Yeah.
TV show,
Right.
whatever.
Or a Sunday morning over coffee or something.
Yeah, half asleep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's Orbis.
I like it.
Yeah.
Top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf.
Middle shelf.
Me too, because I want to play more often to feel it to
Right.
the top shelf.
For me, my top shelf is like just those games that I just love and I crave and I want to play all the time. But they're usually longer, meatier, thinkier, heavy games.
Yeah, same to me.
This game is great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And I will play it anytime anybody wants to play it.
Yeah. All right.
All right, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so already, please go hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when we post new videos.
Yeah.
Okay, now go get another game off of your nerd shelves. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.